Hi babes, how are you? My name is Moran. Welcome to my series Getting Personal, where I gather different stories from Reddit, and today's theme is time to go. Basically, moments in the relationship where you know that it's just better to call it quits and leave. We're having a bit of a different background. That's because I'm moving around. There might be problems with the sound because I'm living in the center of a European city and it somehow is the loudest place I've ever been to, so forgive me in advance. But without further ado, let's dive in. So the first story originally comes from Am I Overreacting? And it is, my boyfriend said I'm the prettiest when I shut up in front of his friends. My boyfriend, 25 male, and I, 22 female, were invited to a birthday party of his friend. The people at this event were all close friends of his from his contract job, and I barely knew these people. Everything was going fine, and my boyfriend was clearly having a great time. But at some point, I was telling a story from my school days when my boyfriend interrupted and said, "You know, my name is prettiest when she shuts up." Everyone laughed and my boyfriend just kept going, saying, "You guys don't know what I go through. She never stops talking. Sometimes I tune her out for my own sanity," or something along those lines. I'm usually really introverted, but when I warm up to someone, I'm the type to talk a lot. So when he said these words, I felt so embarrassed and humiliated, especially since he said it so casually in front of people I don't even know. I tried to brush it off, but I got quiet after that. Later, after the party was over, I told him how hurtful his comment was. He rolled his eyes and said I was being too sensitive and that it was just a joke and I was making a big deal out of nothing. He said I embarrassed him by acting cold for the rest of the night and that I should learn to take a joke. He also told me if I couldn't learn to lighten up, maybe I shouldn't come to events with his friends anymore, even though he was the one who asked me to come in the first place. I feel so awful and confused. Am I in the wrong for getting upset and killing the vibe? I mean, of course not. He was kind of trying to make himself cooler at your expense. Otherwise, I don't know what was the point of that comment, and I will never for the life of me understand why would you try to humiliate the person you're with in front of your friends or anyone at that. So no, not overreacting whatsoever. Like, why did he feel the need to put you down like that? And to me, it would have probably been a sign to kind of just quit this, especially since after you told him that it hurt you, he didn't take your feelings into the account, he didn't understand anything, didn't take responsibility, he just doubled down and blamed you for not being able to take a joke. Top comments here on the original post were not overreacting, your boyfriend straight up doesn't like you. If he feels so emboldened to insult you in front of his friends, this behavior will only get worse. Then someone goes, he sounds like a it, and so do his friends. Which is true. Yeah, they laughed. I mean, sometimes people will laugh in these situations because it's awkward, but at the same time, it doesn't look good on any of them. And the update is I broke up with him. We had been dating for 2 years, and it was the first time he acted that way, so I was genuinely conflicted and wasn't sure if the joke really flew over my head. But I decided to leave. It takes me a lot of effort to come out of my shell, and I feel uncomfortable to stay with someone who doesn't like that. My self-esteem is usually real low, but this time I spoke up for myself once in a long time. We broke up over text. It sucked since he kept bringing up all his contract job friends over me again and again. These are people he got acquainted with less than 7 months ago, so that alone told me some things. I guess I won't be missing anything since he ended our text with "Bye, I don't give a f. Thanks for all the sweet comments." At the time I wrote the post, I was feeling very down and I cried a lot. I'm a bit sensitive, so I teared up reading some comments. Thanks again. I hope everyone has a nice day. Well, kudos to you for breaking up with him, and also you did not lose much considering that, yeah, he literally just texted you, "Bye, I don't give a f." I feel like that relationship has run its course at least some time before all of this went down, because I mean, he doesn't seem to like you whatsoever, and you deserve a lot better. And let's see the next story, which is, am I the for telling my partner I will act and moan like porn stars do if he gives me the same amount of money that they receive after the shooting. My partner is a porn addict. I know he is. Not just his phone, but his computer is full of porn as well, and he doesn't even hide this fact. Our sexual life is a disaster. He tries to do things to me that he sees in porn, doesn't matter how many times I told him it doesn't feel good or even hurts. Sorry for the TMI, but he does this very aggressive and rapid movement on my clitoris with loads of pressure without any foreplay, and I flinch in pain every time. I explain to him how I would like it when he tells me normal women like it this way or you are just too sensitive. Foreplay is non-existent. When he actually penetrates me, I have to bend like a pretzel and pull my legs to my shoulders, which I am not able to do, which fills him with frustration, disappointment, and aggression. He told me several times I should be more flexible like other girls. He then proceeds to tell me he's angry that he has to initiate all the time, I wonder why, and every time when a sex scene is on TV, he makes comments like, I'm jealous, I'm not ridden like that, or see, that's what I want. Last time it got me so tired and frustrated, I told him those actresses in the movie get loads of money and fame at least in exchange for this role. There it is, something for something, a business deal. Obviously she will act how they want her to act. Then he told me it proves every woman just wants money and gets their wet just for the thought of loads of money. I told him I doubt she was actually wet or if any real sex was happening. Again, it is an act. He got furious and told me to stop gaslighting him, LMAO, and just be like a real woman. Initiate sex, moan loudly, act like porn stars basically. I told him I will the second he gives me that amount of money they receive after shooting the movie. Then he called me names, and again accused me I am after money. I told him if I was after money, I would have never gotten together with him. He started yelling something, but I didn't hear it anymore as I was thinking of how on earth I got together with someone like this. I don't need advice. In that moment, I just realized I don't feel anything towards him anymore and I have to leave if I want to keep my sanity and if I ever want to have a great sex life. I'm leaving. Good for you. Should have done it probably sooner because this is insane. Also, your communication is just very not productive. I mean, between the two of you. I get that you were trying to explain your point, but I feel like you're both kind of missing each other on what you're trying to prove. Regardless of that, though, he is just a dumb. I was trying to come up with a better word, but I mean, dumb. Like, if your girlfriend never initiates sex and if she doesn't moan or show any signs of pleasure, then maybe you're doing something wrong. And maybe there has to be some work done, and saying that I wish you were like other girls is once again missing the point because you're not having sex with the other girls, are you? You're having sex with this person who clearly doesn't like it. The top comment here is you need a new partner. The current one is an idiot. And then there is an update. So after I wrote that post, I started packing my things while my boyfriend was standing behind me shouting like he lost his goddamn mind. Told me I couldn't leave, and when I zipped my bags, he stood in front of the door to block it when I thought he couldn't sink any lower. I will try to quote the exact last conversation we had there. He, so will you just leave because I told you what I want? Me, no, I'm leaving because I was the one who tried to communicate several times. You command, threaten, are aggressive and belittling because you don't listen. I listened, but I can't give you what you want. I'm not a porn star and you don't understand their acting. I don't want to act when I have sex with someone, not to mention it is not real sex what they're doing. They just act. What do you mean it's not real sex when he legit her? So you think when a guy puts his penis into a vagina that is sex? What about the connection, the pleasure, to caress each other, the foreplay and aftercare, to connect in every way? That is not real. At this point, I just chuckled and asked him to move out of the way. He refused. So you admit money makes you enjoy sex? No, but if I can't get anything out of the encounters and you want me to act, at least I can get the money. I won't enjoy it, I will just act like how porn addicts think women enjoy real sex, but it is not, so if you want me to act without enjoyment, what's more, with pain, I want to get something out of it. They enjoy it. I doubt it. I won't start about exploitation of women and why exactly they go into porn, or all of the extra work they do around the shooting. Some women enjoy being mistreated. I doubt it, but even if they do, but I think you don't understand the difference between BDSM in a safe relationship and abuse. They need help. I don't want to go to a therapist to enjoy sex. You just don't love me and never have. You are a gold digger piece of a I hope someone you up. It is already done by you. He continued shouting, but at that point I was completely numb. I am still numb. It feels like I wasted all of my energy and positivity in this relationship and I have nothing else in me. I just asked him to move and he finally did, but still continued to call me everything you can imagine. I think he was almost crying too. Doesn't matter. One of my friends let me be here for a few weeks until I get my together and I'm ready in every way to start a new chapter, but I'm just numb. I think I really need a therapist. Thank you for all your comments though. I tried to read all of it in the car. Note 1. Some people asked why I got together with him. Because he showed a different side of him. He was polite, respectful, made me laugh, he cared about me until I moved in. Then everything started to change. Note 2. Yes, he had a small penis. Because of course he did. This is just awful. He completely missed what the problem was, refused to even try to understand. Absolutely awful, abusive, toxic behavior. I'm very glad you left. And we're moving on to the next story, which is I, 23 female, don't know whether my special others of 2 years, 24 male, appearance-related preferences cross the line. I'm looking for a little unbiased advice and I'm hoping this might be a place to get it. Throughout our relationship, my special other has always been very detailed and specific in expressing his preferences regarding my appearance. I guess I'm fairly defensive when it comes to appearance-related criticism, and I don't know if I'm just too sensitive and need to compromise or if his requests are a bit excessive. He has made a number of sort of cutting, backhanded compliment type comments over the years. Along the lines of, your lady parts aren't my usual type, but because it's you, I can handle it. I've talked to him about it and he doesn't seem to have a good explanation for his behavior, but agreed to try to stop. My privates are the most frequent subject of contention. He has stated that he prefers smooth, tight vaginas with minimal wrinkling, which apparently doesn't describe mine. There's very little I can do about that, so his comment naturally made me feel a bit self-conscious, especially regarding future intimacy. I also don't completely shave down there, which he absolutely hates. I have extremely sensitive skin in general, and I find that shaving or waxing, especially intimate areas, just isn't tolerable. I've seen other posts where women described similar issues, so it can't be all that uncommon. He is entitled to his preference, of course, but having to hear his complaints every other day just gets really old. He even researched laser hair removal, which I had to explain that I just cannot afford at this time. He also complains about the length of my hair. It is about shoulder length, which I find to be flattering and easy to style. He wishes it was much longer and has pointed out that I wore my hair very long when I was a young teenager. I attempted to explain that people change their hairstyles and that I no longer like wearing my hair very long or have time in the mornings to style a mass of thick bum-length hair. His response was, it doesn't even have to be very long, just long enough to cover your nipples. I'm at my wit's end trying to accommodate his preferences, and I'm beginning to wonder whether we are simply incompatible and I might be better off ending things. Well, first of all, he's kind of a second of all, you are simply incompatible, because if he has such a strong preferences for shaved, smooth vaginas, or vaginas that don't look like yours, you can't necessarily do something about it, and he insists on telling you how he doesn't like it, and things are not about to change in any way, right? Like, I mean, it's not like magically gonna transform itself into something he likes overnight. Regardless, you shouldn't have to accommodate those preferences preferences, because once again, you have like medical reasons for not shaving. It's not like you're doing it out of spite, and it's not like he should be able to tell you what to do in any way. So yeah, no, y'all are just incompatible because he wants something you literally cannot give, and he's not willing to move past that. We have an edit. Wow, I'm blown away by how much attention this has gotten. I'm adding a couple of pieces of information here that lots of people have asked about. Yes, he's very into porn and has been from a very young age. The only other actual relationships he has had were when he was 14 and 16 respectively, so he doesn't have a lot of experience with adult women's vaginas, labia, pubic hair, etc. in real life. And 3 days later, we have an update. This morning, I decided to sit my boyfriend down and explain how hurtful his comments have been. He became very defensive and stated that the labia comment was meant as a compliment. Furthermore, he expressed that he thinks I'm far too sensitive, lack self-confidence, and that nobody else would be bothered by his nagging. From the responses friends have given me when I've mentioned this, and from the comments on my previous post, I really don't think that's true. Constantly picking apart your significant other's appearance is the abnormal behavior. His reaction really drove home for me how selfish and insensitive the dude is. I could name numerous situations during the course of the relationship where he played the martyr, disregarding my needs and feelings entirely. Cases in point, all entirely true, sadly. He managed to break a sex toy that he purchased and that I hadn't even wanted to use so forcefully that it cut me down there. I got to go to urgent care bleeding from the vagina, and he texted me saying how much it sucked that he hadn't gotten off. He demanded to use my laptop to play video games while on vacation, caught the charger cord with his foot while he flailed around playing World of Warcraft, and smashed it to the ground. He had a fit when I asked him to pay for the repairs and went home 10 days early without me. He wore threadbare gym shorts to my grandfather's funeral and watched porn on his phone during the service. Point being, the guy's selfish, disrespectful jerk. I put up with it for far too long, and I'm just done. Nobody's significant other should make them feel as crummy as he did with me. I hope that he is able to change his behavior and find happiness in a relationship in the future. As for me, I will take my lady garden somewhere that it will be appreciated in the future. Thanks to all who commented. Your kind advice helped me see what I needed to do. Well, first of all, I up and said special other instead of significant other. I always forget which one it is, and I'm just very impressed by this one, because who wears shorts to a funeral, but then he watched porn at your grandfather's funeral? That just breaks my brain. Reddit never ceases to surprise me, and the general uppedness of people always is a wonder, because whenever you think they cannot go lower, they do. Also, the labia comment was meant as a compliment. Let's see how you react when someone tells you, you know, honey, I like huge dick, and yours is just so small, but I love you so much that I'm willing to work with it. I already can imagine the absolute hysterics he would throw over that. So, good riddance, and we're moving on to the next story. This one is even worse than the previous ones, and probably one of the worst ones I've ever encountered, so please just be careful with it, and I put it in the middle of the episode so then we can just unwind after it. This comes from True of My Chest, and it goes like, my husband had me blow him during my labor at the hospital and told me it was for me more than for him. As the birth of our second daughter is nearing, I get flashbacks to my firstborn's birth. I was induced due to cholestasis with Cervidil and then a Foley balloon for 3 days until my water broke. After a failed epidural and a second one in place, I was told a C-section would be best as the baby's head was getting coned, my cervix wouldn't dilate, and baby could go into distress, especially since there was meconium in my water. Needless to say, incredibly traumatic. But what my mind goes back to is after 2/3 days of not eating, having back-to-back painful contractions, tolerating a painkiller shot every couple of hours that hurt more than the epidural for me, and being in labor for so long, my husband coerced me into giving him a blowjob at the hospital, all drugged up and well in extreme pain. Not only that, but he wasn't even thankful and acted like it was for me. He told me that it helped distract me from the pain and praised me for it. I thought I had done right as a wife, but looking back, it seems not okay. It makes me feel icky and sad. I just feel sick about it, and I can't shake off this skin-crawling feeling I have right now. I've read this story about 6 times now because I kept putting it off to the fitting episode, and it sends me into a blinding fit of rage every single time. It seems not okay, girl. I'm so sorry you went through that, but like, that man has to go to jail. It's just absolutely unhinged. And to tell you that it's for you and distracting you from pain is just another level. Literally just has a separate place in hell for him prepared, because this is just evil. Edit, I served him divorce papers last month, suing for full custody. He only gets supervised visits due to his alcoholism, going for exclusive possession of the home and getting a restraining order. Edit 2. Wow, I did not think this would blow up. I'm very grateful for a lot of eye-opening comments I've read and all the support. I've explained how I got pregnant the second time, so please find the comment with the info if you're curious. I'm trying to answer the questions I see and doubts to clarify, but there are so many. I'm so sorry I'm not responding to all. Again, thank you to everyone who has been kind and sent positivity my way. I appreciate all of you. It's made me feel less alone and has been very validating. The top comment here is somehow almost longer than the post, so I'm not gonna read that out, but I will find the comment that she mentions. It wasn't a choice to get pregnant again. We took our daughter to meet my mom in Spain, and one of the nights we drank. We had sex while drunk and he asked to come inside me. I said no. He ignored me and did it anyways. I got pregnant from that one time, which is extremely unfortunate. He did track my cycle, so maybe he knew what he was doing, but I don't know. The plan was to leave him before that, but I was waiting for my PR. He kept withholding it to keep me trapped, and so I stayed longer than I should have to secure my daughter's future in a safe country. But when I got pregnant again, as the abuse escalated, I got a lawyer and got ready to leave. The abuse got even worse post-separation, to the point I had to leave the country so it would stop. But no, it wasn't a choice to have a second kid with him. For me, abortion was not an option though. I'll be the best mom I can be to my 2 little girls, and they gave me strength and courage to leave. He sounds like a nightmare. Also, the coming inside you when you said no, that's assault, that's rape, sorry, but absolutely unhinged. And we are moving on to the next story, which is, am I for just leaving my girlfriend's place when she's on her period? Title sounds bad, but there is a lot more to the story. Me and my girlfriend are both 21 in uni. I live at home, so she doesn't really come here as my mother is kinda conservative and is against her sleeping over. I mostly go to her place and we have sex, play video games, chill, smoke weed, just hang and have fun. My girlfriend has this habit of inviting me over and then telling me that she's on her period whenever we try to have sex. I'm okay having sex on one's period, but she isn't. She finds it gross. I asked her numerous times to tell me before I come over, just so my expectations are accurate. She doesn't, or she'll tell me that she isn't yet, and then when I arrive, she informs me that she just got it, which I think is a lie, to be honest, but what do I know about periods really? Anyway, I told my older brother this, and he said that she only does it because I let her get away with it. I asked what he wanted me to do about it since I'm already there and our relationship isn't just sex. He suggested that I leave a few times and she'll eventually figure it's best to just be honest with me. I recently took his advice, much to the chagrin of my girlfriend, and she ended up posting about it on social media. I'm now being lambasted by girls everywhere, calling me a misogynistic pig and other less happy language. The post has gone semi-viral in my town, and I'm wondering, am I the asshole? Yes, what do you mean? She's your girlfriend, not a toy. I don't know her side, what's going on there, but she should definitely break up with you, because like, you started leaving because of that? Okay, so it's like, we're not So what's the point of me being around, right? Yeah, not like she's human or anything. God forbid. There is an edit. Well, thanks guys. It looks like I'm the asshole since I'm supposedly acting entitled to sex, ignoring the fact that she's entitled to my attention. As anyone could figure out from my post, this barrage has made me realize that this relationship isn't going anywhere. See, my girlfriend is a lot like the users of Am I the Asshole, too wrapped up in gender stuff to ever see where I'm coming from. So I've decided to dump her since convincing you guys of anything is like pulling teeth and she's just gonna be the same. So well done. You freed a girl from another patriarchal head. Congrats. She's crying as we speak, but that's what she wanted, so good day. Well, she's gonna cry, but not for much longer because, yeah, she's free of a head. And I don't know how other users are, but I'm very happy because life hasn't taught you anything and it's not likely to change. The top comment here is, "You're the whole leaving when sex won't be forthcoming sends a message, alright. The message is that you're only there for sex and that's her only value to you. You can say that your relationship is more than that, but your actions contradict it. Why else would you need to know before you expend the effort of going over to her place? Stop expecting sex. There, your expectations are now managed." Ta-da! Yes, exactly. And we're moving on to the last story, which I kept the funner one for dessert to, you know, relax a little bit after the absolute horrors of this episode. So this one comes from Relationship Advice. My 23 male girlfriend, 22 female, blocked every girl on my Instagram while I was in the shower. My girlfriend and I started dating in February and moved in together in October. I don't really have anything worth keeping secret from her, so I'm comfortable leaving my phone around, knowing she knows my password. I noticed this morning that my Instagram follower count was off and noticed every female was unfollowed/blocked. These were all co-workers, friends I made in the army, and family friends. I confronted her and she started crying and blaming it on trust issues. I have never cheated in any relationship and do my best to maintain mutual trust. I've been thinking all day while she is at work and feel like she broke my trust permanently. She also doesn't let me play video games with my male friends anymore because she feels left out. Oh my god, get out of this because this sounds like it's about to get so much worse. That looks like it's barreling towards a controlling relationship where you're always going to be in the wrong, where you're always going to be watched, questioned, imprisoned, and it's not gonna get better. And also, like, what the she'd expect, you know, doing that, because you would have noticed inevitably, just kind of strange. You already know that you are gonna be but you do this anyway. That to me is a very interesting logic. The top comment here is, dude, just leave. You don't need to plan an escape. Just sit her down and tell her you're breaking up. Then leave and go no contact. The fact she doesn't let you game with the boys is already a red flag deal breaker. This additional insane behavior is icing on the cake. Yes, I do agree with that because it's just very, very strange. There is an update. The night after I submitted my original post, I told her I needed boundaries while gaming with my friends. This resulted in a bad argument/breakup. She broke my computer and threatened to give my cat to the Humane Society. The kennel was hers, so I had no way to get him out until I convinced her not to make this the cat's problem. She also threatened my sister for letting me stay with her and started harassing my friend I play games with. She made sure to call all of her friends and family to make sure they knew she was 100% the victim. While I was putting my stuff in the car, she started kicking my bags, threatening me, and tried to get in the car while I was pulling off. I received about 400 phone calls, texts, Instagram messages, etc. I wanted to relay some of your advice to her, but she clearly wasn't interested in taking any accountability. I blocked her on all platforms. I forgot a bunch of stuff while scrambling to leave, and she told me she was selling my $600 garment come in and anything else I forgot. Me and my cat are now living on my sister's couch for the time being. To everyone saying, dude, just leave, I planned on secretly moving all my stuff out while she was at work because I knew this would be the reaction. Okay, I was a bit hasty on saying that this one is lighter and funnier because I did not read the update and didn't know there was an update, but this is straight up crazy. She needs help. She wanted to steal your pet and give him away to a shelter because she's upset with you? That is psychotic. At least I'm glad that the cat is safe because that just scared me more than anything. The top comment here is, call the cops. They can offer an escort to pick up your belongings and press charges on the items she broke. Also, someone is not allowed to kidnap your cat because it's in their kennel. Well, definitely not, but she doesn't seem to care. I hope this will be over soon and she will just move on, because this sounds like a situation that could escalate into stalking and other horrible things. But yeah, this was the last story I had for you today. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you with another video at some point in the future. Bye!